Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Al-Alina binti Abdullah, metric number 285295. Today I will talk about the short-term solvency or liquidity ratios. For the first ratio here is the current ratio, which is in 2021, TNB recorded 0.7375 on its current ratio. The current ratio was less than 1 and does not have the capital to meet its short-term obligations if they all come due at once. In 2022, TNB's then recorded an increase of 30.54% in their current ratio at 0.9627, where it shows that their asset management is better than in 2021. The suggestion that I can do for this is improving the current ratio involves managing a company's current assets and liabilities more effectively to ensure it has enough liquidity to cover short-term obligations. They can boost their cash flow by putting effective cash management techniques into action, and by tightening credit terms or providing discounts for early payment, they can hasten the recovery of accounts receivable. For the second ratio for short-term solvency is the quick ratio, where TNB recorded a 0.7312 on its quick ratio. TNB's quick ratio is less than 1, which means that it does not have enough quick assets to meet all of its current obligations. In 2022, TNB recorded an increase of 30.47% in their quick ratio at 0.9540. It signals that TNB can be more liquid and generate cash quickly in case of emergency better than in 2021. For suggestion, I can suggest that improving the quick ratio of course involves managing current asset and liabilities more efficiently. Thus, TNB should do frequent planning and monitoring of finances, where they should keep a close eye on financial ratios such as the quick ratio and modify their plan of action in response to evolving conditions. And they also could make good use of financial planning to foresee needs for cash and to efficiently manage liquidity. They can also increase quick assets by reducing operating costs or reduce short-term debt by refinancing short-term loans for a longer period or negotiating better prices with suppliers. For the last short-term solvency is the cash ratio, where in 2021 the company recorded a 0.1264 on its cash ratio. The cash ratio was below 0.5, but it was considered risky because the company has twice as much current debt as cash. In 2022, this company recorded a decrease of 84.57% in their cash ratio at 0.0195. For investors and analysts, a low ratio may mean that the company needs more capital. In suggestion, I can suggest in order to improve the cash ratio, they need to focus on increasing the amount of cash on hand relative to short-term liabilities, and TNB should invest surplus cash sensibly. If there is more money left over after operating expenses, they could think about making short-term investments to make more money. However, they need to make sure that every investment fits the company needs for liquidity and risk tolerance. Now I will move to the long-term solvency, which is financial leverage ratio. For the first one is the total debt ratio. In 2021, the company recorded a 0.7480 on its total debt ratio, where this debt ratio helps determine TNB's ability to service long-term debt obligations. In 2022, this company recorded an increase of 2.73% in their total debt ratio at 0.7684, which shows us that TNB had more loans in 2021 to expand their business due to the lack of funds. In suggestion, I can suggest that a reduced level of financial risk is indicated by a lower total debt ratio. Therefore, it can be suggested to TNB to do debt refinancing. They must look into ways to refinance their current debt at a better interest rate. In order to disburse payments over a longer time frame, they could think about extending the debt's maturity. For the second ratio for the long-term solvency, which is debt-equity ratio, in 2021, TNB recorded a 2.9680 on its debt-equity ratio. Its high equity ratio shows that the company was borrowing more capital from the market to finance its operations. In 2022, the company recorded an increase of 11.81% in their debt-equity ratio at 3.3185, where it shows that TNB was borrowing more and more capital from the market compared to in 2021 in order to finance its operations. In general, I suggest that TNB must do something such as enhancing its working capital management, and it should manage working capital as efficiently as possible to free up funds for debt repayment. Plus, they could effectively handle inventory, accounts payable and receivable. For the equity multiplier, TMB company recorded a 3.9680 in 2001 on its equity multiplier, and its high equity multiplier indicates that the company is using a large amount of debt to finance its asset. In 2022, the company recorded an increase of 8.83% in their equity multiplier at 4.3185, which shows that TMB financial leverage was higher than 2021 and potentially higher the financial risk. So I suggest that since the lower the equity multiplier, the lower the financial leverage and potentially the lower the financial risk. So I suggest that increasing retained earnings can be one of the ways to lower the equity multiplier, because we use retained earnings to repay debt in order to lower liabilities or increase shareholder equity is very important. This is because increases and decreases in retained earnings actually could affect the value of shareholders' equity. In 2021, for the time interest earn ratio, TMB recorded a 2.4411 in 2021 back then, and in 2022 it declined, where it decreased about 8.62% to 2.2306. And we can consider that TMB still does not have enough money to pay its debt, and it had become worse in 2022 as the data show us. So I suggest that TMB has to diversify its capital structure by utilizing a combination of equity and debt, so they could determine the right balance based on their company's risk profile and financial objectives. For the last short-term solvency is the cash ratio, where in 2021 the company recorded a 0.1264 on its cash ratio. The cash ratio was below 0.5, but it was considered risky because the company has twice as much current debt as cash. In 2022, this company recorded a decrease of 84.57% in their cash ratio at 0.0195. For investors and analysts, a low ratio may mean that the company needs more capital. In suggestion, I can suggest in order to improve the cash ratio, they need to focus on increasing the amount of cash on hand relative to short-term liabilities, and TMB should invest surplus cash sensibly. If there is more money left over after operating expenses, they could think about making short-term investments to make more money. However, they need to make sure that every investment fits the company needs for liquidity and risk tolerance.
Inventory turnover. This company record a 64.143 on its inventory turnover ratio. This indicates that this company is maximizing its efficiency in the sale of their goods and having great sale where they have sold and replaced their inventory 64.143 times. For 2022, this company record a decrease of 38.28% in their inventory turnover ratio at 39.589. This due to the massive increase of inventory by this company from 167,000 million inventories held in hand in 2021 to 331,000 million inventories held in hand in 2022. It could also be caused by inefficiency in sale by this company. The suggestion: they must optimize their inventory level to increase inventory turnover. To do this, they must assess and adjust inventory level frequently to reflect change in sale and demand. But they must avoid overstocking, which increase carrying costs and use up capital. Days sale in inventory. This company ratio is at 5.69, which means that the company took 5.69 days to convert all their goods and work in progress to sale. This indicates that this company is having poor sale in 2021 due to the high ratio. In 2022, the ratio rose up even higher with the 62.04% increase to 9.220 days to convert all their goods and work in progress to sale. With the significant rise of the ratio, it indicates that these companies' sales are not improving and continue to decline. For the suggestion, This business might predict market demand and modify their inventory accordingly. In keeping with the previous statement, the business might also run special or discount to raise their day sale to inventory ratio. Using just-in-time inventory management, which only gets inventory when needed, is another recommendation. For receivable turnover, in 2021, this company recorded a receivable turnover ratio of 4.280. This means that this company collects its receivable 4.28 times that year. With this ratio, it indicates that this company is very efficient with their collection process and how well they convert their receivable into cash. In 2022, this company receivable turnover ratio will decrease to 2.114, which is a 50% 0.61 decrease. This may also indicate that this company has poor quality and less efficient credit policies. For the suggestion, businesses must put in place an effective invoicing system that produce and deliver invoice quickly and accurately. To automate processes and reduce error, think about outsourcing the invoicing process or utilizing accounting software. For the sale in receivable, this company record a ratio of 85.28 days to collect the payment after they have sold their product. The ratio calculated for this company is slightly above average, which means their collecting process may affect their cash flow performance poorly. In 2022, the ratio increased by 102.46% to 172.65 day. This shows that this company has worse their collection process and poor cash flow because it takes a long time to collect payment after sale are made. For suggestion, one recommendation that could be made is to segment the clientele. Business can divide up their clientele based on credit worthiness and payment pattern, and then customize loan term and collection strategies for each subset of consumer. For total set for total asset turnover, this company record a ratio of 0.246 in 2021, which means that is generate 0.246 ringgit in sale for every 1 ringgit invest in total asset. This number show that this company is inefficiency using their asset to generate revenue. In 2022, the ratio decreased by 4.88% to 0.234. These companies show a reduction in their total asset turnover ratio. It shows that company needs to improve the quality of work in using their asset to generate income. For suggestion, to make sure the dairy goods are delivered to dealer on schedule, it is suggests that distribution efficiency be increased, lead times can be shortened, and overall asset turnover can be raised with efficient distribution. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Muhammad Ammar bin Abdul Razak, 284-790. Next, I will discuss about the profitability ratio. The first is profit margin. In 2021, TNB Malaysia achieved a profit margin of 4.48%. This means that for every 1 ringgit of revenue, the company retained approximately 4.48 cents at net profit after covering all expenses. In 2022, the profit margin increased to 5.17%. This indicates that the company improved its ability to convert revenue into net profit, with 5.17 cent of profit for every 1 ringgit of revenue. The suggestion: the increase in profit margin from 4.48% in 2021 to 5.17% in 2022 suggests improved profitability. The company managed to retain a higher percentage of revenue as the net profit in the latter year. A rising profit margin is generally considered positive as it reflects effective cost management, increased operational efficiency, or potentially higher pricing strategies. Secondly, operating profit margin. In 2021, TNB achieved an operating profit margin of 15.72%. This means that after deducting the operating expenses from revenue, the company retained approximately 15.72 cents as operating profit for every 1 ringgit of revenue. In 2022, the operating profit margin increased to 18.54%. This indicates an improvement in the company's ability to generate profit from its core business operation, with 18.54 cents of operating profit for every 1 ringgit of revenue. The suggestion: the rise in the operating profit margin from 15.72% in 2021 to 18.54% in 2022. It's a promising sign. It implies the firm improved its operational efficiency and cost management, resulting in the larger operating profit percentage compared to the sales. Rising operational profit margin are frequently related with better management practice, simplified processes, or perhaps better product or services pricing. Thirdly, return on asset ROA. In 2021, TNB's ROA was 1.10%. This indicates that on average, the company generated a profit equivalent to 1.10 cent of every 1 ringgit of total asset. A lower ROA may suggest lower efficiency in utilizing asset to generate profit. In 2022, the ROA increased to 1.21%. This suggests a slight improvement in the company's ability to generate profit from its asset, with 1.21 cent of the profit for every 1 ringgit of average total asset. The suggestion: ROA grew from 1.10% in 2021 to 1.21% in 2022, indicating a positive trend. It implies that the corporation has gotten marginally more efficient in the generating profit from its asset. ROA is impacted by both net profit and asset utilization efficiency. As a result, increase the net profit or more effective asset management can both contribute to an increase in ROA. Lastly, return on equity ROE. In 2021, TNB's ROE was 4.37%. This indicates that on average, the company generated a profit equivalent to 4.37 cents for every 1 ringgit of average shareholders' equity. A higher ROE suggests a more effective use of equity capital. In 2022, ROE increased to 5.23%. This signifies an improvement in the company's ability to generate profit from shareholder equity, with 5.23 cents of the profit for every 1 ringgit of average equity. The suggestion: the increase in ROE from 4.37% in 2021 to 5.23% in 2022 implies a healthy trend. It signifies that the corporation has grown more efficient in generating profit for its stockholders. ROE is an important indicator for analyzing the profitability of equity capital. Rising ROE frequently show efficient utilization of shareholder cash and good management method to assess the company's performance in comparison the peers compared to ROE to industry benchmark.
So the conclusion that we can make from our assignment is that our report of the assignment has been completed by all of us four students that covers from the interaction, company background and also financial performance analysis and also bank performance discussion and our own suggestion for the improvement for the TNB company. On top of that, we highlight the most important thing that TNB is one of the top 10 companies in the Bursa Malaysia that shown that very competent in their field business fields. However, despite with all of this assignment, we also had to overcome some difficulties, which is in terms of the short deadline due to our own members commitments and also online platform. And other than that, we also had to overcome the difficulties in terms of calculation when we using the Microsoft Word and also our lack of professional presentation among of us were also we had to encounter it. Despite these challenges, we as a student learned that valuable insights about the TNB professional growth and we and improvement. Thank you.